The chanting stopped, and 30 protesters watched as River Phoenix tried to prevent Johnny Depp from arguing with an activist who told them that celebrity causes are just fashion. Downtown Los Angeles, May 1992. The intersection of Spring Street and Temple serves as a gathering point for grassroots environmental protest against corporate policies that prioritize profit over ecological responsibility. This isn't a staged media event with professional organizers and celebrity spokespersons. It's an authentic community demonstration where working-class activists risk arrest to challenge industrial practices that destroy local environments while generating wealth for shareholders who live far from polluted communities. The street reflects genuine protest culture. Handmade signs created from cardboard and house paint, protesters wearing work clothes rather than designer activist fashion, police barriers that separate demonstrators from corporate buildings where executives make decisions affecting communities they never visit. River Phoenix, 22 years old, holds a protest sign advocating for environmental justice, his simple jeans and t-shirt suggesting genuine commitment to ecological causes, rather than publicity opportunities designed to enhance celebrity image through association with popular progressive movements. Beside him, Johnny Depp carries his own handmade banner supporting indigenous land rights, his casual attire reflecting personal connection to social justice movements that operate independently of Hollywood marketing strategies designed to convert political causes into career advancement opportunities. This kind of direct action takes real courage, River observes, noting the authentic commitment required for activists who face potential arrest, job loss, and social ostracism for challenging corporate power structures that most people prefer to ignore rather than confront directly. Different kind of risk than we usually face, Johnny agrees, recognizing the parallel between entertainment industry challenges and political activism that demands sustained personal sacrifice rather than temporary inconvenience between comfortable lifestyle choices. Their morning begins with genuine participation in community organizing that prioritizes environmental justice over media coverage, seeking meaningful contribution to movements that existed long before their involvement and will continue regardless of celebrity participation levels. The protest attracts local residents whose health and economic security are directly threatened by industrial pollution, community organizers whose expertise comes from years of fighting environmental racism, and various activists whose commitment extends beyond social media posting toward direct confrontation with corporate power. Most celebrities who join protests want photo opportunities that boost their progressive credentials, explains Carlos Martinez, a longtime environmental justice organizer whose own activism spans decades of community organizing. They show up for media attention, then disappear when real organizing work begins. As the demonstration progresses, both actors attempt genuine engagement with activists whose expertise comes from lived experience rather than theoretical support for causes that sound progressive but require personal sacrifice to implement effectively. That's when their interaction with protest leadership takes an unexpectedly confrontational turn. Diana Rodriguez represents authentic grassroots activism, a 35-year-old community organizer whose 15-year career includes successful campaigns against corporate polluters, experience with police violence during protests, and expertise in community organizing that builds sustained political power rather than generating temporary media attention. "I see we have some Hollywood representation today," Rodriguez says, her tone carrying authority earned through years of successful organizing campaigns. "Are you here to support community organizing or to be seen supporting community organizing?" The question immediately creates tension as other protesters recognize familiar dynamics where celebrity involvement generates media attention that often overshadows community voices and reduces complex political issues to entertainment industry narratives about famous people caring about causes.
"We're here because we care about environmental justice," Johnny explains, his voice becoming increasingly insistent. "Our platform allows us to amplify community voices and bring mainstream attention to issues that might otherwise be ignored by media outlets focused on commercial interests." Rodriguez recognizes immediately problematic assumptions about celebrity activism that contradict community organizing principles focused on building local political power rather than depending on famous spokespeople to communicate community concerns to mainstream audiences. Amplify community voices, Rodriguez repeats with obvious skepticism. That's interesting language from people whose presence here will inevitably become the story, rather than the environmental racism we're actually protesting. River senses growing tension, but continues participating in protest activities, while Johnny's defensiveness escalates in response to Rodriguez's criticism of celebrity activism that she views as potentially counterproductive to genuine community organizing efforts. "What's your alternative?" Johnny continues, his frustration showing as Rodriguez's critique challenges assumptions about helpful celebrity involvement. Should we ignore environmental issues because our participation might generate unwanted media attention? Rodriguez feels her patience diminishing as Johnny's defensive response reveals fundamental misunderstanding about community organizing that prioritizes local leadership development over celebrity endorsement that can undermine community autonomy and political self-determination. The alternative is supporting community organizing without making yourselves the focus, Rodriguez responds firmly, her voice reflecting years of experience with well-intentioned outsiders who inadvertently harm movements they claim to support through lack of organizing knowledge and excessive focus on their own participation. Other protesters begin gathering closer as the exchange intensifies, community members recognizing familiar tensions between outside support and local autonomy that frequently complicate relationships between grassroots movements and celebrity allies who mean well but lack organizing experience. Johnny's frustration reaches breaking point as his genuine environmental concern encounters criticism that questions not his sincerity but his understanding of effective political organizing that builds sustainable community power rather than depending on celebrity advocacy. This is exactly the kind of purity testing that prevents building broader coalitions, Johnny declares loudly, his voice carrying through the protest gathering. Environmental destruction affects everyone, and excluding potential allies based on their profession undermines movement building. That response about purity testing triggers Rodriguez's explosive reaction that surprises everyone within hearing distance, including River, who recognizes that his friend's defensive anger is escalating toward confrontation that could damage relationships between celebrity allies and community organizers. 6 seconds pass as Rodriguez's frustration with celebrity activism reaches expression point, her face showing anger earned through witnessing numerous well-intentioned famous people who inadvertently harm movements they claim to support through lack of organizing knowledge and excessive focus on their own participation. Celebrity causes are just fashion, Rodriguez declares with devastating precision, earned through distinguishing authentic political commitment from trendy activism that treats social justice movements like seasonal style choices that celebrities adopt temporarily before moving toward different causes. Her words expose fundamental critique of celebrity activism that treats political causes like charitable opportunities for public image enhancement rather than sustained organizing work that requires long-term commitment and willingness to follow community leadership rather than seeking spotlight attention. Other protesters respond with mixed reactions, some nodding approvingly at Rodriguez's direct criticism, while others recognizing potential value in celebrity support when properly channeled through community-led organizing structures that maintain local autonomy. Johnny's face flushes with anger at public criticism that reduces his environmental concern to fashion statement, his celebrity pride conflicting with direct challenge from organizer whose expertise he's forced to respect despite disagreeing with her assessment of his motivations.
But before Johnny can respond with defensive arguments that would escalate confrontation toward more serious consequences for both celebrity-community relationships and protest unity, River Phoenix intervenes with diplomatic skills that address underlying tensions while preserving possibilities for constructive collaboration. Diana, you're raising legitimate concerns about celebrity involvement in community organizing, River says clearly, stepping between them with genuine respect for her expertise. Johnny's reaction shows he's not fully understanding the organizing principles you're trying to protect. His immediate acknowledgement of Rodriguez's authority and legitimate concerns creates pause that allows everyone to recognize how quickly supportive celebrity participation escalated toward destructive argument that could damage both personal relationships and political coalition building. River addresses Johnny directly, with friendship loyalty balanced against honest criticism of defensive behavior that contradicted organizing values they both claimed to support. Your environmental concern is genuine, but Diana's pointing out how celebrity involvement can inadvertently undermine community leadership if we don't follow their guidance about effective support. Then he turns back to Rodriguez with appreciation for her political expertise and commitment to community autonomy. Can you help us understand how to support environmental justice organizing without creating the problems you're describing? We want to be genuinely helpful rather than accidentally harmful. The street falls quieter as protesters observe conflict resolution that acknowledges legitimate concerns while preserving possibilities for celebrity-community collaboration based on respect for organizing expertise and community leadership rather than celebrity prominence. Rodriguez recognizes River's authentic interest in learning organizing principles and genuine willingness to follow community leadership rather than seeking personal prominence through political involvement that centers celebrity participation over community voices. Johnny processes River's criticism and Rodriguez's organizing expertise, his defensive anger gradually replaced by understanding that effective activism requires respecting community leadership and organizing principles, rather than assuming good intentions automatically translate into helpful contributions. "Diana," Johnny says quietly, his earlier defensiveness replaced by genuine curiosity, "I want to support environmental justice effectively rather than just feeling good about my political involvement. Can you teach me about organizing principles that make celebrity support actually helpful?" Rodriguez accepts his revised approach while maintaining political integrity that commands respect rather than accommodation. Community organizing builds local political power through local leadership development. Outside support helps most when it follows community guidance rather than celebrity initiative that can inadvertently undermine local autonomy. River facilitates continued dialogue that transforms potential coalition breakdown into educational exchange about effective solidarity, celebrity responsibility, and mutual respect between famous allies and community organizers whose expertise deserves recognition regardless of media prominence. Over following months, both actors learn genuine organizing principles through sustained engagement with community groups, demonstrating support through resource sharing and platform amplification that follows community leadership, rather than centering celebrity involvement. Years later, both men speak about the Spring Street protest as educational about political activism, community organizing, and personal growth that requires acknowledging when good intentions require organizing knowledge to become effective political action. Rodriguez occasionally references that demonstration as example of how conflicts between celebrities and organizers can be resolved through honest dialogue about power dynamics and mutual respect when famous people choose learning over defensiveness and community expertise over celebrity prominence. 6 seconds at a street protest in 1992. One moment when celebrity activism met community organizing expertise before diplomatic intervention prevented coalition damage. One choice that transformed potential movement fracture into political education and proved that authentic activism requires respecting community leadership rather than assuming celebrity involvement automatically benefits political causes. The morning that showed genuine solidarity requires following community guidance rather than celebrity initiative, because effective political action depends on organizing expertise that celebrity status can't substitute for sustained commitment to community-led political change.